If I had just told the truth that night, maybe my sister would still look at me the same way today. My name is Mia. I'm the youngest of two sisters, and for most of my life, my older sister Elena was everything to me. My hero, my secret keeper, my home. She's 3 years older, but in many ways, she felt more like a second mother. Protective, wise, kind. When our parents fought late at night, she used to sneak into my room, pull the blanket over both of us, and whisper stories until I fell asleep. When I had a bad dream, it wasn't mom or dad I called for, it was her. Growing up, I lived in her shadow, but I never minded. She was brilliant, always got the best grades, played the piano effortlessly, and had this calm, graceful presence that made everyone trust her. I was more impulsive, messier with my emotions. People compared us, but she never did. She'd say things like, "You're not me, Mia. You don't have to be. You're enough." But I ruined that. I ruined us. It started the year I turned 17, and she was 20, her second year at university. That summer, she came home with someone new, Daniel. He was polite, handsome, and carried himself with a quiet confidence. He was everything you'd expect from someone Elena would choose. The moment she introduced him, I felt something I didn't want to admit. Not admiration, not curiosity, jealousy. Not because he was handsome, not even because he was smart, but because I saw the way she looked at him, the way she used to look at me when we were little and inseparable. It sounds selfish, I know, but something in me twisted the moment I realized I wasn't her person anymore. At first, I tried to hide it. I smiled when he was around, made jokes, tried to be the cool little sister. But slowly, something darker crept in. I noticed things, little flaws in him. How he interrupted her when she spoke. How he seemed a bit too flirty with everyone, even me. I told myself I was protecting her, that I had good instincts. But the truth? I wanted him gone. And so I told a lie. One night, Elena went out to meet some friends, and Daniel was waiting for her at our house. We were alone in the living room, watching TV in silence. He asked me about school, about my plans after graduation. He was being polite, but I was cold. I didn't like how comfortable he was. I didn't like how easily he fit into our lives. And then I still don't know what came over me. I did something unforgivable. The next morning, I went to Elena in tears. I told her Daniel had made a pass at me, that he touched my arm, told me I looked all grown up, leaned too close. I added just enough detail to make it believable, just enough emotion to sound like a terrified little sister. I still remember the way her face changed. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just froze. She whispered, "Are you sure?" And I nodded, without hesitation, without shame. She broke up with him that night. I listened from my room as he pleaded, confused, saying he didn't understand what was happening. She didn't explain. She just asked him to leave. I thought that would be it, that I'd gotten what I wanted. But it wasn't. Not at all. For the next few days, Elena barely spoke. She looked tired, hollow. She didn't say anything to me, but something in her gaze had shifted. It wasn't warmth anymore. It wasn't trust. It was distance, suspicion. And then, a week later, she found out. Daniel had come back, not to win her over, but to speak the truth. He showed her screenshots of our old messages, where I had complimented him, tried to initiate small talk, even suggested we hang out while Elena was away. I'd forgotten I ever wrote them. They were harmless, or so I told myself back then, but out of context, they exposed the truth. That I had an unhealthy fixation. That I was the one who blurred the lines first.
She confronted me. Calmly. No yelling.
Just disappointment. I loved you more than anyone, she said. Why would you do this to me? I couldn't answer. I didn't know anymore. I stood there, silent, as the space between us stretched into something unfixable. For the rest of that summer,
she avoided me.
We lived in the same house, but barely spoke. She didn't tell our parents what I'd done, maybe out of protection, or maybe because she didn't want to admit the truth herself. But the bond we had, it cracked like glass under pressure. And every time she looked at me, I saw it in her eyes. You're not who I thought you were. After she went back to college, she stopped calling. She used to send me texts every day. Now it was once a week, then once a month. When I graduated, she didn't come home. When I turned 18, she sent a short message. No call. No card. Just, happy birthday. I hope you're doing okay. I cried that night. Not because she forgot me, but because I had made myself forgettable. Years passed. I tried to rebuild my life. I got into college, made new friends, tried to move forward. But there was always this ache in me, like a song that never resolved, a dissonance I couldn't fix. I dated. I laughed. I functioned. But I never forgave myself. And then one day, out of the blue, she called. It was 5 years later. I was working my first job. The caller ID made my heart drop. I picked up breathless.
Elena?
Her voice was soft, still calm. Hey. I didn't know who else to call. I found out she was in town. Our mom had fallen and fractured her hip, and Elena was coming to stay for a few days. She asked if I could help drive her to the hospital. Of course I said yes. That night, I picked her up at the station. We hadn't seen each other in half a decade, but she still looked like Elena. Older, maybe, and more guarded, but still her. The silence in the car was heavy, but not hostile. Just filled with everything we'd never said. At one point, I whispered, I'm sorry. She looked out the window. I know. We didn't talk more that night. But over the next few days, something began to shift. Not forgiveness.
Not yet.
But possibility. We took turns caring for Mom. Shared quiet meals. Talked about the news, old relatives, silly things. There was a gentleness in her voice I hadn't heard in years. And on her last night before leaving town, we sat on the porch. She finally asked, Why did you lie, Mia? I didn't have a perfect answer. I just told the truth. I was scared of losing you. And somewhere in my messed up brain, I thought pushing Daniel away would bring you back. I didn't think of the cost. I didn't think I'd lose you instead. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, You didn't just lie to me. You broke something in me, too. I stopped trusting myself. I questioned my judgment. I thought if I didn't see this coming, what else have I been blind to? That hit me harder than anything else. I whispered, I understand. I don't expect you to forgive me. She nodded. I don't know if I can. Not completely. But I can try. That was 2 years ago. We're not who we used to be. We probably never will be. But we talk now. We see each other on holidays. We share occasional phone calls, slow and careful. We send each other silly memes sometimes, and every once in a while, she signs her texts with a heart emoji. It's small, but to me, it's everything. Trust doesn't heal overnight. Sometimes it never fully comes back. But love, real love, lingers. Even through silence. Even through pain. If you're reading this and you're carrying a lie on your back, let me say this. It's not worth it. Whatever momentary gain you get from deception will never replace the emptiness that follows. I would give anything to go back and undo what I did. But since I can't, all I can do is keep showing up, telling the truth, and hoping that one day, she'll look at me not with the eyes of someone who remembers the betrayal, but someone who believes I've grown since it happened. Until then, I'll keep earning that look, one honest day at a time. Have you ever broken someone's trust? Or had yours broken? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional life stories.